Must be nice to just be a state senator and just say, you know what? I don't think that this money that was collected for COVID funding should be used for that. Instead, I'll just buy myself a Porsche and a Ferrari, right? Welcome to Ray Dog's Random Thoughts. Ray Sean Blyden here, politicalbombshow.com, raydog.com. An ex-state senator decided that, you know what, this money that's been collected for COVID funding, I don't even think that you need it. I mean, I think it'd be better served if I bought myself a couple of fancy cars. So let's get right into that. Here's a former state senator transformed COVID relief funds. And what did he buy? Of course, a Porsche and a Ferrari. Nice, look at that. Don't you want one? You should become a state senator. Or anyone in government for that matter. Most of them are crooks. Nonetheless, questions as to where the trillions of dollars in federal taxpayer COVID funding have gone have been looming for years, yet there do not seem to be any solid answers, which indicates a significant chunk of the money and where it has gone and where it was wasted, and in this case, the wallets of a corrupt government officials. Interesting, I see, yeah. Andy Sanborn, a former Republican at that, in New Hampshire. See, I am fair. I don't care if you're Republican or a Democrat or independent. If you are a slime ball, I'm going to report it. I'm not going to bury it, because everyone can be a leech, a snake. And this Andy Sanborn, who's a former Republican New Hampshire state senator, happens to be a slime ball, is being accused, I should I throw in the word, what did they say? I forgot the word they used. Anyway, being accused of misappropriating funds to the tune of $844,000 in COVID relief funds. Allegedly is the word I'm looking for. Let's throw in the word allegedly, because I don't know. I'm just reading a story from redstate.com. So $844,000 in COVID relief funds to purchase himself luxury cars and pay for other lavish expenses. A former state, and okay, this is just repeating what I just said here. And it says here, I have full confidence our actions were transparent and in complete accordance of the law, he said. That's what he says in the email. He strongly disagrees with the commission's finding. So, in a statement, Attorney General John Formella noted that this office obligation to protect the public demands that we take action against any person who is found to have used their regulated casino to enrich themselves with fraudulently obtaining taxpayer funds. The issue centers on the fact that casinos were not eligible to receive COVID relief funding. Sanborn is alleged, there's the word, to have left out the name of his business when applying for funds with the Small Business Administration. Instead, he indicated that his primary business activity was miscellaneous services, of course. Of course. Be vague about it. On purpose, I might add. Well, that doesn't look good, does it? Apparently, Sanborn and his wife, Miss Eve, Adam and Eve, there, were living large off taxpayer. Things like this really angers me. It does, because as it is, we're we're just paying too much taxes. I mean, just this past paycheck, I had like 18 hours in overtime, and the amount of taxes they took out of it, it would have been better if I just worked my 40 hours. It's insane. And then you have this bum here who has just decided that he's going to enrich himself, him and his bum wife, to the tune of 844,000. But according to the Attorney General's office, which alleges that he spent 181,000 on two Porsche cars, not even one, not one for, oh, I know, one for you and one for your wife. I get it. I get it. She wants a pink one, you want a white one, right? Yeah. Okay, I understand. I'm down with your brother. No, I'm not. And $80,000 on a Ferrari for his wife. Oh, I stand corrected. I guess he does want the two Porsches for himself. And so, you know what, honey? Two Porsches for you, Porsches for you, one Ferrari for me. I mean, two Porsches for me and one Ferrari for you. What do you say, honey? Okay, dear, I like that plan. I'm down with that. If the accusations are accurate, this news is practically disturbing. I mean, partially disturbing when looking at the bigger picture concerning the use of COVID relief funds. Since the pandemic began, Congress passed 6 COVID related pieces of legislation, which amounted to a whopping $5 trillion in relief spending. Taxpayers Against Fraud, that's TAF, noted that only about $1 for every 12,000 was allocated to promoting oversight of the use of the funds. Apparently, our intrepid elected officials were not too concerned about where these trillions of dollars were going. Of course not. It's a big. I don't want to get into it. I get so mad. It's like, do you remember this? What is the old Eddie Murphy movie when he ran for Congress? I believe I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically once he got he got in there, scammed his way in there. If anyone knows the name of that movie, leave a comment. But he scammed his way into being a congressman, and then found out that he was a small fry compared to the scams and the things that they were doing in actual government. So I can't remember the name of that movie at all. I'm probably showing my age here, but speaking of that, it was pretty cool. I was at the dentist's office, and the X-ray technician, she came out, and there's only myself and a lady out there, and she's just looking around, and she finally said, "Rayshawn?" I was like, "Yes, that's me." And she said, "Oh, I'm sorry. So I was looking for someone much older. You look way younger than your age." So that's a compliment. Black don't crack, all right? No, I'm kidding. But nonetheless, I am straying way off. But anyway, apparently these officials are not too concerned about where these trillions of dollars were going, were they? It can be no wonder that Americans are now wondering where all that cash went. But it gets even worse. You know how I like to say, but wait, there's more. TAF's report also notes that a gargantuan chunk of these funds remain unspent and unsupervised, meaning that there could be plenty of Sanborns out there milking the system for their own benefit instead of letting the money go to regular folks. I thought I turned my ringtone off. I hope you didn't hear that. Letting it go to regular folks where I lost myself. It lends credibility to the idea that COVID relief funds were merely a massive wealth, is the word I'm looking for, redistribution program that only placed more money in the hands of the wealthy and powerful, doesn't it? And some like to say, well, these wealthy and powerful are Republicans. Not always. In fact, many times, they're also Democrat. But in this case, we're talking about a Republican bum named Sanborn. The Sanborn's case provides another glaring example of what could be a far-reaching issue. It also further illustrates that the cavalier attitude with which our elected officials spend the money they take from the hard-working Americans who could probably use that money to offset the impact of inflation and other economic woes. I'm raising my hand, I'm one of them. Once again, we have another story showing how the government solved problems by creating more problems. The question is, when will the people decide that enough is enough? And it's true. We need to decide enough is enough is enough. We need to decide that. I mean, that's why I love how we've woken up to the woke companies trying to shove their agenda down our throats like the Anheuser-Busch story. Very happy that was a successful boycott and it's still going on, and they deserve to go out of business. They really do. But we need to start to push back very heavily on bums in the government like the Sanborns of the world, because many of them are out there. Make no mistake about it. And as long as they keep getting away with it, they're gonna keep on doing it. We need to fight back and let them know that we're not gonna stand for this. So what do you think? Leave a comment, share, like, and subscribe. Let me know. Do you think that Sanborn did anything wrong, or that he's just gaming the system and it's fine? I'm curious to know what you think about this. And don't forget politicalbombshow.com, because I'm certainly sure that big tech, the stories I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be focusing on matters where they want us to shut up and be silent about it. And I'm not going to do that. So leave a like, share, and subscribe. politicalbombshow.com, raydog.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Here we go.